Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Connecting Life podcast. I'm your host, Dianaboskma, and I'm here to help you connect the dots of life so that you can live your best life in a healthy and fulfilling way. Today, I'm talking with Justina Lisi. She's a visionary coach and overall an amazing human being. Can you please tell us a little bit more about yourself, Justina?
Thank you, Diana. Well, I was a hairdresser by trade for 16 years. I still am. And through my entrepreneurship journey of owning my own business, I've learned that it is the greatest self-development journey for myself.
Yeah,
Learning how to be who I need to be to go where I want to go. And living in a small town in upstate New York, I've learned that you really have to create your own opportunities sometimes. And so it's my pleasure to learn about people's passions to help them bring their visions to life. So I love talking about people's ideas and how we can make them happen.
that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
So today, Justina and I are going to have a conversation about the journey through life, which is about, starting new things and how to make these ideas that you get happen, but also how fears and limiting beliefs and just life can get in the way. So, is there something that you started new that was scary in your life?
I think I don't get scared until I'm in the thick of it, personally.
Yeah.
I'm not typically afraid to start something new. But when I think I was mentioning game day,
Mm,
that's when, um, you know, you have all of these worries you try to be prepared for, but um, you just learn how to make it happen. You don't have a choice. We're going to do the best we can with what we have. And
yeah,
yeah, so um, I tend to, not fear away from trying new things really. Um, but there are things that definitely I'm not ready for, like anyone else.
yeah,
But I think you just have to do what you have to do to be prepared for those things. Because I think
yeah.
life is worth exploring your greatest passions.
Yeah, yeah. I always think that in life, you learn more and you grow more when you do the things that are a bit scary and a bit uncomfortable. And I was talking with someone else recently, and she was talking about a book, and the title itself was "Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway," and that was for her really profound. And ever since she said that in a previous podcast episode, that's been sitting with me, as in that is actually a really good concept to feel the fear and do it anyway, because
Mhm.
otherwise we're not going to go anywhere. And it's really good to do new things and to create things for yourself and just make life more interesting and more entertaining as you go along.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So life in general can get in the way, and in my in my life that can be pets and children because there's a lot that always goes on with that, and that doesn't mean I stop doing it. It just means that sometimes things go slower than I want it to go. Do you have anything like that as well at times where things just don't go your pace, where you wish you could
Oh,
have it go your pace?
it's inevitable.
Mm,
Um, I have ADHD, an autoimmune disease. So if
yeah,
I don't keep a good balance with my energy, my diet, my sleep,
yeah.
life definitely gets in the way. And when I get involved with something, I kind of get consumed by it.
Mm,
It's just a lifestyle thing for me at that point. So
yeah.
then everything kind of falls by the wayside. So everything else. But I guess the way I get through that is just it's cyclical,
Hmm. Yeah.
for me, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
Go hard on it and then, integrate and rest and there's Suki. She got out. We were trying to keep her contained.
Mm. She's
Life
cute.
right here.
Yeah. She is cute.
At least she's not barking. But yeah, I think when I when I'm consumed by something, when I have a vision, I think really it's hard to pull me from that. Um, and but when I find myself in a place of resting, it's like a true resting place. It's it's hard to find like one or the other, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So like um after I just worked a festival, and that was very consuming for me for about 8 weeks. And I loved it. I've never done anything like that before. And it brought upon like some great opportunities and relationships for me. But it was really like 12-hour
Mm.
days every day, you know,
Yeah.
because I was doing social media, doing the marketing, you know, working with the vendors, the
Mm.
sponsors. You know, it was very immersive, but I
Yeah.
loved it. So now that it's been a few weeks, I can rest, working on house projects this week. Um, you know, I think for me, I like to have that, you know, grounding period because I think, and I have no problem with going hard, you know,
Mm.
and just living and breathing a project.
Yeah.
Um, I think ideally, you would think I should find and must find balance so I stay healthy, you know, with
Mm-hmm.
sleeping and my diet and all of that, so I don't, you know, feel sick. But um, I guess I guess my way of doing that is having that down period after. So
Mm-hmm. So
mm,
when you have an intense period like for the festival, does that
mhm.
impact your health so that you need a down period after that to recover from it all?
Yeah, I think especially because it's so much build up until the
Mm-hmm.
festival. And then it's, you know, the week after it's finalizing some loose ends, making some calls, you know, making sure everyone gets what they need.
Yeah.
Um, so then it starts to kind of like slowly go down, and then it's like, okay, now it's, you know, here. And I found myself really favoring the rest and the relaxation at that point because there really was none before then. Ideally, should I have more balance? Yeah, but that's not my lifestyle at the time, you know.
Yeah.
um, I'm still working on that.
Yeah. I
So
get that. The thing is, it's not always easy to do because for a lot of people, a more steady life would probably be better for them. But I don't think in the journey that we're going through in life, we get
mhm.
that all that much. There's always more intense periods and more calm periods, and it's this steady going on. I haven't experienced that in my life. There's always ups and downs and things that are like everything has to happen at the same time. And then it's this thing of, so what do I do now? Everything's done. Doesn't last long when you wonder what's going to happen now. But
I know,
yeah,
I know. um, yeah, like I said, it is a goal to maintain, have some type of balance, but like I said, I'm not afraid to jump into something
yeah.
like that and really immerse myself. Um, and something that I wanted to touch on too, which was kind of relative, was I was transitioning from being a salon owner
Hmm.
to downsizing to my own private suite and training to be a life coach. And that's when I met you guys,
Yeah,
ACC.
yeah.
And I was like, go, go, go. I just moved this mountain. I signed up for ICC. I'd been waiting to do that. And I started the weekly calls, and then got to have these like deep conversations with you guys and take a minute to slow down
Mm,
and really think. And then that's when life just kind of hit. You know, it's like
yeah.
where that, you know, that momentum really wasn't sustainable. And I had been kind of like in a survival mode for a while. So um that was a little over a year ago. Actually,
Hmm.
like April, May. And then I as much as I wanted to keep going, all my body would let me do was really just heal my
Yeah.
mind and my body. It's like I'm not in a place where I can really give what I needed to give myself because I needed the rest. I needed to stop hustling. I needed to have fun. Not that
Yeah.
it wasn't fun, but I had, you know, I love what I do so much that it is fun for me. But I needed
Mhm.
to have something outside of like having my value
Yeah.
be something of what I'm giving. You know what I mean? I wanted
Yeah.
to. So this past year has definitely been very, very much of a balancing act with that. And I've definitely, focused more on the joys of life, what brings me joy rather
Yeah.
than, that hustle.
Mhm.
Um, and I think coming across that opportunity to work on that festival kind of like, got
Yeah.
me back on that,
Yeah.
like it being a lifestyle type of thing. Cause like when I had the big salon, it was a lifestyle for sure. And with my
Mm.
smaller salon, it's more of like, just way more manageable. So we
Yeah.
were talking about, finding that balance. And I'm thinking now, like, while I'm talking to you, I'm like, yeah, that streamline, that consistency, that routine, with ADHD clearly is not something that comes natural to me.
Mhm.
And I find like, sometimes it's hard to pick up momentum with things when I'm there. So it's like when I have that pressure
Yeah. Yeah.
to make things happen, that's where.
Mhm.
But it's nice to be able to dabble in that and then go back to life. And I
Yeah.
think as I learn how to regulate myself, um, to be the best person I can be, the best entrepreneur I can be, to have that beautiful life,
Yeah.
work, happiness balance. It's like you're going to go through situations where you're like, yeah, that was a little much, or, I need a little bit more in order to like keep me
Yes.
moving. But
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. It's always interesting to think about that because there's phases where you feel like you could add something more to your plate, but then once you've done it, you get this feeling of, is this ideal? So it's always touching, feeling, figuring out what works, what doesn't work. And I think when you work for yourself, that's a much bigger journey than when you are an employee, because as an employee, you get a certain task set, as in this
Mm-hmm.
is your job.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you do. And there's usually not much that changes about that. But the moment you start working for yourself as an entrepreneur, it constantly changes all the time.
So
And that
much.
makes it so different. It's like
Mm-hmm.
a completely different life that you have as an entrepreneur than
Yeah,
as an
it's
employee.
definitely not mundane. I
No.
will say, while I was learning my life, work-life balance, at the same time of having the salon and knowing I needed to downsize, so positioning myself to do that, I was always also like a caretaker for my
Mm,
grandmother and some other elderly people that I know that just don't have anyone,
yeah.
and who have to go to their doctor's appointments and
Mm,
have to, and it's um and I was thankful to do that for them, um because so many, at least in my neck of the woods, there so many elders, they don't have people in their life to help them manage those things as they tend
yeah.
to lose their independence.
Mm,
Um, so I have a huge place in my heart for that, but at the same time it was so consuming because their household needs, their medical needs,
mm,
mine kind of took the back seat, and it is a full-time job sometimes,
yeah.
and so I had to create boundaries with that too, which was find
Mm,
resources locally to help them,
yeah.
which isn't easy.
No.
And so like I became very intimate with what was available locally for the people that I love, to help them get that and that transition time. And I still take them to, like yesterday, I took them to get their nails trimmed and their
Mm,
checkup and whatnot, and trying
yeah.
to track down the paperwork to make sure they get this. It is like, it's not something that, you know, someone who can't hear well or,
Yeah.
comprehend things very quickly, manage any type of digital, it's not something that can be done super easily.
No.
So yeah, that was another thing I had to find balance with this past year. But once you find that sweet spot, it's something that it just helps give you life and purpose. And I'm so happy I do that for them. And after we go to their doctor's appointments and we go get lunch, eat it over, watching the view of the area, and then go for a little drive. And so it's fun.
That sounds really nice.
It is, when it's not too much.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely have a deep respect for caretakers.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Of any sort. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know a few people who do that, some for a living.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you do it for a living, it's a job, but it's still really, really intense and it's a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be quite draining.
Oh,
In the UK, there's quite some people who work in the care system as a carer. So
yeah, because these people don't want to lose their independence 99% of the time, and they're not happy about it, and it's frustrating. And you're the person,
yes. Mm-hmm.
has to be that buffer. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just I remember that when my mother was struggling when she got older, then she struggled cooking, but she really liked living in her own house.
Mm.
So then I made sure that food was brought warm, and that was really nice because the lady that ran that company was also a lovely lady. So, and all those kind of things, helping her find people that could help clean, could bring her the food and whatever she needed, and then the driving up and down for doctor's appointments. It was at times really, really intense to do that, but also really rewarding because it made her life so much easier, so much nicer, and that makes, it's nice. It's nice when you can do that. So I totally get that you're doing that.
Yeah, it's very grounding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That too. And we're all going to get older at some point. So I do hope there will be people available to help me when I potentially end up in a situation where I need help. Kind of hope not, because I know my grandmother from my dad's side, she never really needed much help. She was, until sure before her death, really independent because she was just that healthy and fit. So then it's good, but not everybody has that. So I hope I take after her.
You got to keep moving or you lose it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Use it or you lose it.
Get that dog, so it makes you get up and walk.
Yep. Dogs are great for that. So.
Yep.
Yeah. So what's something that you feel would be useful for people when they get stuck in limiting beliefs when they want to do something new? How to get through that? Do you have any idea of what you'd like to share with them?
Yeah, I think that, like, for instance, if you're needing to transition from like maybe one career to another in midlife, and you're needing to create a new identity because maybe everyone sees you as a hairdresser,
Yeah.
but now you're becoming a life coach and you're bringing out this part of you that no one really saw before. All the work you've done on yourself to be the person who you want to be.
Yeah.
It is terrifying and it is painful when people reject that. And they're going to, but it's so important to protect that in yourself and favor those who are supportive and want to learn and understand that about yourself, and just don't pay any mind to those who aren't ready for it or aren't accepting to it. And maybe that you don't experience that, but I think the greatest fear of trying something new is more about what other people will think. And I think once you get going and you get started and you don't prove it to other people, but you prove it to yourself that you are capable, because you are capable. If you believe it, you are. Because if you don't believe it, no, you won't. Like your focus really needs to be on you achieving the goal, not the fears that are arising. Because if you're distracted by the money, the time, the experience you don't have, that's the trajectory that you're going in. But
Yes.
if you're focused on, I am going to build this, I'm going to launch it, and I'm going to succeed, and I'm going to how to do it better, and then I'm going to build it again, and then I'm going to launch it, I'm going to succeed, and that is the mindset that you have to have.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a quote. I don't know who said it anymore. Doesn't really matter, but it's about, and I don't know whether I say it correct either, but it's that when you believe you can do a thing or you believe you can't,
Mm.
either way you're right.
Yeah.
Because it's about the belief. It's not about whether you can do it, because you can learn almost anything. If you don't
Mhm.
know how to do it now, there is a way to learn it. So in the end, you can.
Mhm.
And I found that really profound when I read that quote the first time.
Mhm. It's so
So
true.
it is.
So
Yeah.
true.
And then, that's a big limiting belief when you think you can't. And then the
Mhm.
fear starts hitting. So yeah, it's better to just have this focus on I can learn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I mean, it's okay to be realistic,
Hmm.
but it's okay to also really take a look at each of those things that might be holding you back and dissecting it as in, okay, is this even possible, or is it me making an excuse? Is this even something I want? Maybe it will direct you to something else that's more aligned with, what you really want. Like, I think also sometimes we do things sometimes to prove to other people, you know,
Hmm. Yeah.
um, or be what other people want us to be. And
Yes.
if you don't learn that quickly with time, you'll learn that that's not the way to go. It's so true to just try to stick to what's authentic to you, and it's important to take the time to
Yeah.
really um, know and understand yourself and,
Hmm.
and your lifestyle and what you're
Yeah.
going to do well in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I found that at the beginning of my journey really useful to talk with colleagues, coaches about that, because they just help me think through what do you want, what don't I want, and all that kind of stuff. Because there were all sorts of thoughts that I had, and at times I didn't really know where to go with all these thoughts. But having that trajectory of this is what I want to do, and that's why I want to do it, that really did help. And just
mhm,
having someone there to help me think has always been quite the blessing to have that. So yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Um, we've had quite a nice conversation,
mhm.
and don't know how long, but probably long enough now for people to have a good idea of what's cool in the journey through life. And what I'm wondering is, when someone would like to contact you, how do they best do that?
I have a website.
Hmm.
It's called thegrowparlor.com.
Cool.
Um, and it's just a space to contact me, learn a little bit more about me and the work that I've done. I'm also a hairdresser, so you'll see a little bit of that in there too. I
Cool.
won't give up on my clients who won't don't want me to retire yet. So
Fair.
I do dabble a little bit of both. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
still
cool.
here. Yeah.
I will put the website in the description with the video so that they can just click and go. All right. And I really want to thank you for this conversation because I really enjoyed it. It was really nice to talk with you. So thank you for joining me today. And hopefully we can do something like this at some other time.
I would love to do it again, and thank you for having me. This was really fun.
Yeah, thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.